So I've just pulled this protein out of the pantry. I remember when I bought this protein, and I think it was because I saw like an influencer had posted and said like it was really good and she uses it in her smoothies. Oh my gosh, it tasted gross. So yeah, I'm not a fan of protein powders, and I used to convince myself that I liked them and I thought they tasted good. This one I never could, and I remember I put it, like, it just smells bad. It smells like the food that I used to feed my fish. I remember I tried to use this by putting it in like carrot muffins that I made, and like they were tolerable, but no, I wouldn't recommend them. And like now I just make my muffins with flour, and that works way better. Like flour and butter and sugar and delicious things that make baking actually taste good and means that it actually satisfies your craving for baking rather than having some artificial tasting substitute. And I feel really bad because I'm gonna throw this out, and I feel bad because of the wastage, and also this was expensive, but like I can't give this to anyone because it just does not taste good. Like the only person I could give it to is someone who I don't like, but there's not even anyone I can think of, so no, I just have to throw this away. So I'm just taking a break from processing data, which I've been doing a lot of these days. So I'm going to record the rest of this video. I know there are going to be people out there who disagree with what I'm saying, and that's fine. That is normal, that's life. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, but I'm really making this video, I guess, for past me, who I think it would have been helpful to hear this, and for anyone else who that might be helpful for as well. Recently I've noticed a lot of photos of, or even videos of people with protein powder or protein supplements, protein oatmeal, protein smoothies, protein hot chocolate, etc. And I don't know, those images make me feel kind of uncomfortable for several reasons, and especially when they're being posted by people who've been through an eating disorder and are promoting recovery or are recovered. And I guess because my own journey with my eating disorder, I now, like in a good place in my recovery, I don't eat protein supplements, like ever, like very rarely. And these images of protein powders and protein, all sorts of foods corrupted by protein powder, remind me of the early days of my eating disorder when I was really obsessed with protein, really obsessed, because I remember seeing all these like blog posts and, you know, ads and things about how important protein is for like building muscle, or like gain muscle, lose fat by consuming lots of protein. Like you should track your protein so that you get X grams of protein per kilogram of weight or whatever. And so I started tracking my protein. That really worsened my eating disorder quite a lot, because I hadn't cared anything about calories or macronutrients or anything before that, but suddenly I was trying to get as much protein in as I could, and not fats. I was like, fats, pfft, carbs, pfft, protein is where it's at. Even when I began recovery from my eating disorder, there were all these posts like, you know, how to gain weight healthily, or how to gain weight but not gain fat, or how I reverse dieted my way into this body sort of thing. And usually it again came back to protein. And so I tried this approach. I tried to gain weight by eating lots of protein, and yeah, I did gain weight, but I didn't recover. And that's actually what I wanted. I didn't actually want to gain weight in the first place. I just wanted to recover from this awful eating disorder that I had in my head. That's what I wanted to get rid of. And obviously there are so many things wrong with that approach, because it's inherently fat phobic, for one. Fat is good. We need fat, actually. We need to consume fat. We need fat on our bodies in order to live. And also, part of an eating disorder is trying to overcome that fear we have of gaining weight, that fear of putting on fat. And you can't do that when you're still living in fear of fat, by actively telling your brain through your actions that you're eating this way in order to minimize fat gain. It doesn't work. It didn't work. End of that story. Even among people who are very anti-diet, pro-recovery, etc., there's still this sort of idea that we need to have lots of protein, we need to consume protein powder daily, sort of thing. I just got distracted by an anti-lockdown protester flying past with a banner. Anyway, basically, I want you to know that you can live a full, quality, nourished life without protein supplements. That's what I want you to know. So I don't consume protein powder much. So I don't consume protein powder anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. Tell you why you don't need to consume a really high protein diet, why you don't need to consume protein supplements, despite a lot of people telling you that maybe you should, or advertising their products. So first of all, protein powder tastes really disgusting. During my eating disorder, I convinced myself that I liked protein powder because I would eat it every day, and I kind of just forced myself to like it. But when you take the protein powder out of the smoothie, it tastes way better, in my opinion. I really don't miss that grainy texture, the metallic sort of artificial taste. I really don't like all the protein brownies and protein waffles, protein muffins, all that sort of thing, because no, they don't taste good. They don't taste like the real thing. So yeah, you can eat those protein goods that are not good, but they're not going to satisfy your craving for the real thing. And there's nothing wrong with just eating a brownie or several brownies. And especially when you're in recovery, eating the protein brownie, I'm sorry, but it's a cop-out. Maybe you have a fear of brownies and a protein brownie seems easier. So okay, eat that a few times maybe till you're comfortable with it, but then move on to the actual, the good brownie with the chocolate and the butter and the sugar and the flour and the ingredients that make it actually taste good, because it is so much better, and you don't need to deprive yourself of those foods regardless of your size or your shape or whatever's going through your head. You deserve to enjoy those foods. Secondly, generally, unless you're some really hardcore athlete, you don't actually need that much protein. like not as much protein as some people might have you believe, to gain muscle, to have energy, to feel satiated. There is sort of this belief that if you consume protein, it's like a low calorie way to satiate your body. And in recovery, that's not, like, we're not looking for low calorie alternatives, right? And our body won't be satisfied with it. So in my recovery, yeah, I could drink a protein smoothie, but I would also need like a proper breakfast as well, because it wouldn't satisfy me mentally. It might like the protein smoothie might satisfy me physically, but not mentally, because I was not craving a protein smoothie. There are a lot of posts of like what I eat in a day, or what I eat in a day to get abs, or what I have for breakfast to stay lean, or whatever. And there's usually a high focus on protein, and every body is different. Like even when I ate really a lot of protein, honestly, my body didn't look much different than it does now, because I just don't have the genetics for like abs or, you know, lots of muscles. I'm not built that way, and regardless of what I eat, regardless of what I eat, it's not going to change. I don't monitor my protein consumption, and I don't need to. Like if I eat enough in a day, if I eat proper meals and I eat my snacks, then I get enough protein and I feel energized, I feel satiated, and my body has also grown stronger through recovery without any conscious awareness of how much protein I'm consuming. Reason number 3 is that protein makes people quite gassy. So that's just unpleasant and awkward. Protein powder is also expensive. Okay, so someone was just watching me. That's cool, not embarrassed at all. So yeah, protein powder is expensive, and honestly now I'm just not willing to spend money on it, because as I said, it doesn't taste good. It's not something I'm willing to spend my money on. Too much protein is not good for your body. It's like there's a risk of consuming too much protein, and I know that during my eating disorder I was consuming too much protein, because my blood test showed that it was, you know, my kidneys had been negatively affected. Pretty unlikely that you're not consuming enough protein, but there is a risk that you will overconsume. So if you do consume protein, you should be aware of that. And also, my last point, I feel uncomfortable consuming protein because protein powder is a major player in the diet industry. Like a lot of protein supplements are part of the industry that praises weight loss and tells us that fat is bad. Like, I'm sure not all brands do this, but some of the, you know, a considerable number of the bigger ones do. Like, protein, I don't want to support the industry that makes us feel like we need to eat in a certain way or work out to feel good about our bodies. And that's probably one of the biggest ones for me, and why I'm not interested in protein supplements anymore. So those are my thoughts, and if you have any, feel free to comment below and let me know. I'm sure some people will disagree. Of course, you know, do what's right for you. Everyone's different. I just think, for me, for the reasons I've listed, I'm not interested in consuming protein powder. And in my life, food, I eat food for taste, for enjoyment, for energy, for nourishment, for social and cultural reasons, and protein powder doesn't fit in with my values. Like, eating a high protein diet means having a special meal for myself and disconnecting myself from my family and supporting the diet industry, which I don't believe in, and all of these things which are not in line with my values. So ultimately, that's why I don't believe in consuming lots of protein. Okay, thank you for watching today. I hope that you're keeping safe and well, and I'm sending lots of love to you. I'm sending lots of love to you wherever you are, and I'll record again soon. Bye!